Last year, there was all this excitement in the world about digital assets, and then immediately after came the concern from regulators. So you saw China ban crypto trading, South Korea and Japan raise concerns, Germany and France calling on the G20 to regulate it, someone from the Bank of International Settlements saying it was digital assets are parasites and Ponzi schemes. So we have Sunil here to sort it all out for us. He's particularly well suited to do so because he has served for the past 2.5 years as the sole U.S. board member to the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, responsible for casting the U.S. vote on all IMF decisions. And he took an active role in the IMF's Financial Technology Initiatives and Risk Unit. So with no further ado, Sunil, could you tell me a little bit about your role at the IMF, the background, and what kind of work the IMF does in this space?
Thanks for the introduction, Anja. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased and honored to be here. I am no longer at the IMF, and I am no longer within the US Treasury Department, so I'm free to speak my mind. When I joined the IMF, actually, it was a really interesting time. This is winding the clock back 2.5 years, Feb 2016, because the IMF had just started on a number of initiatives that are very relevant to today and to this room. It had issued at the time a paper on virtual currencies. IMF actually came out and issued a paper on virtual currency. It then went on and created a high-level fintech advisory panel. Inviting the who is who of the fintech world and crypto world and blockchain world into that. So Ripple was one of them. The IMF was then saying, okay, so what are now the opportunities? We talked about remittances, and Brad mentioned remittances and the cost of remittances. So cross-border payments, you talk about business-to-business payments, and that's about $150 trillion. Remittances and generates about $240 billion in revenues. The remittances, so person-to-person payments, mostly by migrants, is about $500-600 billion, and they're the $600 billion
a year.
And there the cost is 7.5% in terms of what they end up costing the transaction. So, but then if you dig further, well, what are the costs and what can you address? In a remittance transaction, the 4 key costs are, of course, compliance. In IMF analysis, it's about 15%. The FX, but again, round number, about 15%. The actual back office operations is about 40%, and then the funds, the captured funds, is also about 30%. So that's about 100%. So you could see that with DLT, you could actually almost address every single one of these, and you can see how that 7.5% could actually come down significantly.
You were using blockchain.
Exactly. So that would be one use case clearly, and of course, this room and Ripple itself is in the forefront of changing the dynamic there.